and welcome back into another episode of the Bet on Me podcast. It is Wednesday, July 27th, 2022, and it looks like the Phillies just went up one run on the Braves, and the Tigers are up one run on the Padres right now. Recording this at 2 o'clock, guys. So checking out these games right here. May have sprinkled a little something on this Phillies Atlanta Braves game. I don't know. But I digress. Let's go ahead and get into things. We've got NCAA college football coming up. And guys, I'm really excited to talk about it. We're going to go ahead and look ahead to that because MLB is getting into the second half of its season right now. Those games are well underway, and when we get into October is when we'll be in that postseason, be able to pay a little bit more attention to that. Right now, I want to go ahead and shift focus over to football because, I feel like you got to be ready. I feel like we got to know what's going on. We got to see all the things happening, watch all the trades, look at all the moves, make sure we know who we're going to bet on, what futures to take, and just basically all around what's going on in football. One thing to talk about today before we get into the college football that I would like to speak about is Julio Jones signing a deal with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Now, I saw some people tweeting this out yesterday on the Twitter that Julio signed a deal with Satan, and that made me laugh just a little bit because I haven't looked at the futures yet. But we'll go ahead and we'll take a look at it right now. And the Tampa Bay Buccaneers are plus 750. I'm not sure if that moved them up any. I don't know what they were before that, but I know the Buffalo Bills are still up there and they are the favorite. So, and the Raiders still have, it's funny to me, the Raiders, because, like I said yesterday, Devontae Adams, said Derek Carr is a Hall of Fame quarterback. But if you look at those odds right there, those say differently. Because you would think Devontae Adams will at least move him up from 4,000, right? But I guess not. We're going to go ahead and we are going to check out these futures in the NCAA, guys, what I've been wanting to talk about right now. NCAA football coming up. First game of the NCAA season is August 27th. That's Nebraska and Northwestern starting, I believe, at, what is that, noon? Yeah, this will all be at noon. So it's going to be great. Here, let me just reach up here and check the old calendar real quick. Just doing all kinds of. Yep, that's a Saturday for sure. Just making sure, looking at the old calendar hanging on the wall over here. But yeah, I figured it was a Saturday, but I just wanted to check and make sure because when it comes to football, I don't like to mess around, guys. You're gonna find that out. I'm pretty serious about my gambling when it comes to football because that is where I believe I make the most money, and I have in the past few years that sports gambling has been legal here in the state of Tennessee, and I'm very thankful for that. So man, I want to go through all these games as well, but let's go ahead and talk about the futures really quick. There's a couple on here that I'm really interested in, and I think there's a lot of value in one that I am so damn near close to just throwing a bunch of money on right now. I don't know. See, I'm over here just putting in how much can I do? How much can I not do? Normally, guys, see, the baseball season and the basketball season, a lot of my bets that I've put out have only been like 10, 20, $5 bets. Football season a little bit different. We like to throw a little bit of cash on the games because there's, like the other day, we had David Behrman on and he was talking about, there's only 13 games, which I never really took into account whenever people talked about, the hangovers of these other sports, and then there really not being one in baseball because there's like 180 something games that they play in baseball, which, bless every one of those players for doing that and playing the length that they do, being away from their families to entertain people and playing the game that they love. But that is a grind. Baseball is a grind, and it's a grind to watch. And, it's a great sport. It is America's sport. I love it. It is one of the greatest pastimes. I can't wait to get out to some games here in October. We're gonna go check out the Braves. They're right down the road, so hopefully the Braves make to the postseason. We're gonna try to make to some of those games. Check it out. But like I said, it's just a longer grind than football is. You know, you got shorter seasons, even though they've added on more games to, I believe, college season and the NFL seasons, making preseason shorter in the NFL. And yeah, I think there's a few more games added on in the college. I know the playoff puts more games in there, definitely. If you play all the way through, like if you're in Alabama, if you're a Clemson, if you're a Ohio State, at Georgia, you know, you played some games last year if you were a lower classman, and now you're coming back, and you know you're going to try to get back there. That's a lot. I mean, it really is. It, you know, it takes its toll on professional players. So even these kids out here with these NIL deals playing as amateur pros now, or whatever it is you want to call it, they're, you know, I don't know. You might have some kids playing through injury, playing through pain. That happened a lot before, but now there's an extra incentive. There's just so much going on this year that I'm just really excited to just dig through every layer. A lot of questions on how things are going to play out, but we'll go ahead and look at the futures right here. I ramble on so much. I can ramble on for days about football. Alabama is at plus 180, which is very respectable for Alabama because, you know, they win it all the time. I can't Nick Saban, you know, we you really don't even have to say anything about him. I'm not going to go on about their accolades and all that they've won and all that they've achieved because we know who Alabama is. Ohio State, on the other hand, they're looking pretty good. I know they have a quarterback I've not seen much about. Going to start looking into things. It's what I've been doing with the NFL. But as for the college game, to be honest with you guys, I figured I would look at this live right here. This is like the first time I'm really kind of taking a look at this and like really dissecting certain teams. I have my favorite that I've already took at a glance and looked at, but this is really me going through and looking at each one and kind of thinking about it, you know, right here with you guys on the podcast. So Ohio State, like I said, I think they could really have something there. Definitely think they're going to be there in the Final Four at the end of it. Georgia, I'm not expecting Georgia to do anything. They won last year, and you know everybody gets one. You know everybody gets one every now and then. So they gave Georgia one. Georgia had one there, got them a win there, and it's funny because they won it last year and they're not the favorite. So Alabama's the favorite with Ohio State close behind, and Clemson is at plus 800. Georgia at 350, Ohio State at plus 300. Clemson at plus 800. Um, I just don't see Clemson getting back. I know Dabo, you know, he can do his song and dance all he wants, but and when I say that, I'm not hating on Dabo at all, guys. It's just he goes out there and he tries to play this. Oh, we're just little old Clemson out here, and we're not, you know, you guys have won national championships. You know, Deshaun Watson's over here having troubles in the NFL now. Like, I don't know. I don't want to give any hot takes, but it wouldn't surprise me at all to have some stuff come out about Odabo and, you know, pay and play. I don't know how that works now because we know they were paying them. I don't know. I see, that's what I'm saying. All this is crazy now. So are it and isn't their school still under like sanctions because of that stuff? And if you broke so it's okay now, but if you broke the rules then you would still be so I don't know. I don't know. Anyway, USC plus 2000 USC. Every year I hear about how great USC is. And guys, granted, I am down here in East Tennessee where the SEC is king. But, you know, ACC, you know, you got to respect them a little bit. And of course, the Big Ten has, you know, their teams. But USC, I mean, I don't even know what conference they're in. What is the MAC, the Big 12, the Pac 12, the Pac 10, the Big 10? I mean, there's so many out there. They're in the MAC. I don't know. Guys, I'm just joking. But I just don't think USC. I just don't see it happening unless they, I don't know. I just don't see it happening. Every year I hear about how great they are. It's kind of like it's kind of like the Vols around here, and I hate to say that, but it is every year. Oh, this is the year we got the quarterback, we've got the receivers, and most of the time they're right. We do. We've got the quarterback that looks good, we got the receivers that look good, we got the running back that looks good, and then the next thing you know, they're all wanting to jump ship and leave town. So I don't know. You tell me when it comes to Tennessee football, but I feel like USC is kind of the same way where they kind of have the fan base that kind of hypes them up a lot nationally, and then they don't do a whole lot. But I mean, if you're going to put USC at plus 2,000, you could put Tennessee at a little better than plus 10,000 there. I mean, come on, that just because I feel like there's you know, no difference. Now here's the team right here that I'm looking at plus 2,500, and this is who I'm going with my pick right here for the futures. I really like this. I don't know why. I don't know anything about anything. I just know that this is kind of like a gut thing. They're in the SEC now. Texas A&M plus 2,500 to win the national championship 2022-2023 FBS championship, NCAA football, that is. So I I can't give you any like, Jimbo Fisher or any of his, like, I know he's coached, a good team, James Winston, all that at Florida State. I know that he's doing what he can to get people there. He's rowdy. He wants to win. He can win. He has been there. I I don't know. I just have a feeling that they're in the SEC, and I think if they can get enough wins behind them and get into the tournament at the end of the year, I think they could take out an Ohio State. I definitely think they could take out an Alabama. We've seen them beat Alabama before with a field goal. So yeah, I mean, I just think Texas A&M is one of those teams because they usually win 10 or 11 games. They just always end up losing like uh, you know, that one game to maybe like a Georgia or Clemson, somebody in it's always someone they're coming up that they would have to face later down the road, maybe, like a tough team, like not a cupcake, a Power 5 team, and they usually get beat, and that's what puts them out. And after they get that one loss, they'll kind of get another loss. That's kind of Texas A&M's MO from what I've seen for the past few years. Like I said, they'll get that one loss, and then after that, it's just kind of like a domino effect. But they always try to finish strong. I just think this is Texas A&M's year. We saw Georgia win it last year. We've seen Alabama win it. We've seen Ohio State win it. USC, I don't think has a shot. Notre Dame at plus 6,000. You got Oklahoma at plus 5,000. Oklahoma, I don't really know what's going on out there with their situation. Haven't heard anything when it comes to any of these NIL deals. But I am down here in the South. I do hear a lot of stuff SEC wise. Watch a lot of Paul Feinbaum. So just kidding. I don't have time. That's a long show. I love old Paul Feinbaum though. I like to get on there every now and then, turn it on the background and listen. If anybody doesn't know what that show is, it's a show on like ESPN SEC network, and it's Paul Feinbaum sits at his desk and people call in and they just bicker and bitch about the last person that called in who talked trash about their team. It's the funniest shit. And if you haven't watched it, you should go check it out. But yeah, a little free plug there for Paul, even though he doesn't need it. But yeah, just I love that show because you get a good feel on what, it's kind of like, radio but on TV. So you get a good feel of what the entire SEC, nation is kind of thinking, not just your local, the local team up here, because I get all the local stuff from the Vols, hearing all that stuff, follow all that stuff, read it in the papers. I know who's coming, transfer portals. We watch all that stuff. Still don't think we're going to do much this year. I really wish we could, but I don't know. We'll see. We could be in contention, but like I said, if it means anything to you, I don't see how you could have USC at plus 2,000 and not put the Vols a little bit lower than plus 10,000. Not saying I would take them. I'm just saying, let's see what this quarterback looks like. Let's see what this NIL money brings. Let's see if it brings in the talent that they expect it to. Let's see if we can actually compete, if our defense is good enough. Our O-line has to be able to stand up to Alabama, Ohio State, and even Clemson. And, Georgia's probably going to give people a run for their money as well because it's Georgia. And I'll go ahead and tell you this right here. Any of these teams, when they play, Georgia, Tennessee, Alabama, Tennessee, USC has played Tennessee in the past. Tennessee, I don't know if we'll play Texas A&M. I'll have to look at the schedule. But, we play Florida, Kentucky, who else? I think Mississippi or Mississippi State, South Carolina. Like it, the SEC, for people that want to say the SEC isn't the hardest conference, like all we need is Ohio State, Clemson, like Miami, Oklahoma State. We literally need like 5 more teams to have all the best teams in all of college football. So I don't know. Maybe that's just my opinion, but it's just funny when you look down at these odds. Most of them are SEC teams. Let's go ahead and look. Let's see how much time we've got here. How much time I've ran my mouth for. All right, I can go a little longer here. Sorry, guys. I know you're like, what's going on? Pre-recorded, and like I said, I don't want to do too long, so we'll just go a little bit longer here. Okay, so we already talked about Nebraska and Northwestern playing August 27th on a Saturday at noon. We also got Nevada, however you want to say it, and New Mexico State playing early that day. We also have Connecticut and Utah State, Wyoming and Illinois, Charlotte, Florida Atlantic, Northern Texas, UTEP, Vanderbilt, Hawaii at 10:30. So Vanderbilt's heavily favored in that game. SEC team they should be. September 1st, we've got West Virginia at Pittsburgh, Penn State, Purdue, TCU at Colorado, Utah at Florida. Looking forward to that one. Kind of like Florida a little bit, living up here in the Tennessee hills. I've seen them battle with the Vols up here, on Rocky Top so many times. The Gators and Smokies up there, man, just I love it. I love it. So I kind of like Florida because of that rivalry. It's a great game, great atmosphere. So yeah, I've always kind of been a Florida fan. I know a lot of Tennessee fans hate that, but we still represent Tennessee. We still love Tennessee, but we love the SEC. And if you're in the SEC East, then we're down with you. That's really how it is. You got NC State taking on East Carolina. East Carolina is a team that could surprise you on that one right there. Cincinnati taking on Arkansas. Cincinnati +7. That's something I would take a look at right there on the 3rd, September 3rd. That is at 3:30 because Cincinnati's a good team. Arkansas is an SEC team. Yes, I know they are good, but Cincinnati is an up and coming college football program that I'm, I think they can give Arkansas a run for their money there. Notre Dame and Ohio State, September 3rd is 7:00. That's going to be a big game. I think Ohio State romps. Total is 58. The spread is 15.5 going Ohio State's way, making Notre Dame a dog on the road. Can't wait to see those money lines on that one. Oregon at Georgia. That's going to be very interesting. September 3rd at 7:00. That's 2 teams completely, out west here in the East. Yeah, I'd say Oregon is +17.5 on the point spread there. The total is 50. I think it goes well over that. Just looking at the 2 teams right here, knowing the history of them, I don't care who's the coach out there. It's Oregon. They put points on the board. I think Oregon could keep that one interesting there. Also, Florida State taking on LSU September 4th, 7:00. Or I'm sorry, 8:00. Florida 3-point dog in that one at LSU. Clemson taking on Georgia Tech. Clemson's picked to win that one big. I'd take the points for Georgia Tech, 20.5. Washington State at Wisconsin on the 10th. Then you got Stanford, USC, Tennessee and Pittsburgh, Kentucky, Florida, Iowa State, Iowa, Alabama, Texas on the 10th. My God, guys, the list just goes on. Florida and Texas A&M. This is, guys, this is going to be one of the greatest college football years on record. You go ahead and mark my words right now. I'll go ahead and give you my four that I think is going to make it to the playoff. Of course, Texas A&M plus 2,500. That is my favorite pick. I think Alabama makes it. I think Ohio State gets there. Of course, I for some reason I think they make it, and they get there. And you guys are not going to believe this, and a lot of people may go against me on this. And I know that these two teams play each other, but that doesn't matter. I think Miami, Florida has a shot. I think that even if Texas A&M loses to Miami or Miami loses to Texas, I think it'll be a close game. And I think strength of schedule and all that. I think here's the way I see it playing out. And this is why I absolutely love college football. I think Texas A&M wins out. Miami, Florida loses one game close to Texas A&M. USC, Clemson, Oklahoma, Notre Dame, Georgia all have too many losses, can't get in. I think because Miami only has one loss against Texas A&M, I think they get in. I don't know if that can work due to how scheduling. I could be completely wrong about all that, but I'm pretty sure they just kind of pick who they want. So, Alabama, Ohio State, Texas A&M at 3, Miami, Florida at 4. That's just Miami would play Alabama, Ohio State would play Texas A&M. That's just how I see it playing out. I think the national championship is played out Alabama, Texas A&M. I'd really like to say that I think Miami, Florida will win it all, but my gut is telling me Texas A&M. I think we see Alabama and Texas A&M. And back to the same scenario. Texas A&M plays Alabama. Alabama loses to Texas A&M. Texas A&M's the best team in the country. Alabama still gets in with one loss. Or Texas A&M loses to Alabama. Alabama's the best team in the country. Texas A&M, a one loss, still gets in. You're going to have 2 one-loss teams in this year's playoffs, guys. I'm calling it right now. Guys, that's all I'm going to rant about today. I'm going to go on. I've given you my picks. I've given you my Final Four. I've given you the 2 teams that I think are going to be in the Final Four. I've given you two loss teams that could possibly make it, or 2 one-loss team, I'm sorry, that could possibly make it into the Final Four. Guys, make sure you head over to Capper Tech. The link is down below in the description. You can find all of our best bets. You can get all the best tools to make bets, the betting trends, the trend finder, the game simulator, the game cap census. They also now have the news aggregator, which is a compilation of all of the top news stories, all the news stories that just basically came out. You can find on the news aggregator. And the way it works is you just click on the news aggregator right here. You can search through it and you go down and you can see right here just all the different sites that have to do with gambling, links you to their top stories. Guys, this is a game changer because this, with the betting trends and the trend finder and the game simulator, now I've got articles right at the palm of my hand while I'm listening to podcast. I mean, you can pop right in there and listen to my podcast while you're scrolling through, reading an article, checking out the trends. Guys, it doesn't get any better than that. And I really, Capper Tech just keeps getting better. I don't know how else to say it. You got to go down in the description, hit that link, go check it out, guys. If you're not using this site, I don't know what you're using. I keep telling you guys about it all the time. It really is one of the best sites around. I use it daily. I sit on it half the day looking at bets, looking at the trends. And what the trends are is like the last 10 games, it gives you like the last 10 games against the spread, the last 10 games that, losses straight up, the last 10 games, have they went over or they went under? And it compares these two. The trend finder compares the two teams that are playing. It compares all this stuff together. Guys, I'm telling you, you got to get over there and check it out. Links below in the description. Make sure you check out that leaderboard. Over 8,000 pro verified cappers that you can check out. And if you want to, you can sign up absolutely free. Use any username you want, log right in, and buy a couple of those picks, or just use everything that I said for absolutely free. The only thing that you'll pay for on the site is a pro cappers pick. Everything else is absolutely free, guys. Just sign up, log right in, and you have access to all of it. Thank you so much for watching the podcast today, guys. I enjoy doing this every day for you guys. Moving into football, I'm getting really excited about talking about football. Love it. And I just hope everybody goes out there and makes some damn money this season. Like I said, don't forget to go check out Capper Tech. The link is down below in the description, guys. I do detailed write-ups on all the games I pick. I'm still picking MLB, just not really going to do any more talking about it on the podcast. We're shifting our focus to football. So if you want to get those picks, you're going to have to go over to at Bet On Me Pod. That is at bet underscore on underscore me underscore pod on Twitter, and at the Bet On Me podcast. I think it's just at Bet On Me podcast over on Instagram. And then you can get all the picks we want, or all the picks that we make that you want, for absolutely free, guys. Everything's absolutely free that we put out. That's what we do here at the Bet On Me podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for checking us out. Don't forget to go check the links in the description below. Having a hard time talking. Let's have a great Wednesday, and let's go get those bets in.